Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing The Full Treatment, released in 1960, directed by Val Guest, written by Guest and Ronald Scott Thorne, based on the 1959 novel of the same name, written by Thorne. Starring Claude Dauphin, Diane Cilento, Ronald Lewis, Francoise Rosay, Bernard Braden, Katya Douglas, and Barbara Chilcott. Now, this film is one of those psychological thrillers, and it follows Ronald Lewis's character of Alan Colby, and he has suffered a car accident with his wife, Denise, played by Diane Cilento. And she is fine. She didn't suffer any injuries in the accident. He did. So he is having these weird dreams about the accident. And we got this little baby here, and she's trying to be mischievous. So, so she is fine, but he is not. He's getting over this accident that he's been in, and he's having these weird dreams. And these dreams seem to intensify when he meets Claude Dauphin's character of David Prod. And see, when that happened in the film, I knew there was something else going on. And the reason for that is Claude Dauphin's character is the psychiatrist, and he is just consistently manipulating both Alan and Denise throughout the film. And why is he doing this? Well, this is a spoiler alert, so if you have not seen this film and you want to see this film, go watch it and then come back and finish my review, and you'll know what I'm about to reference. Okay, so Ronald Lewis's character of Alan doesn't really trust David when he first meets him, and yet Denise tries to talk him into going to therapy with David because he's a psychiatrist. But being he didn't trust him to begin with, this doesn't really make sense to me. But he goes ahead and does it, and that's when David begins to use hypnotherapy on him, and he ends up making him have these weird dreams to where he wants to kill Denise, or makes him think that he's wanting to kill Denise. But why is he doing this? Well, it turns out David is in love with Denise. And that plot point, I didn't get the way he would do it. Because if he is in love with Diane, he's been manipulating her throughout the film anyway. I don't know why he didn't just use his psychiatry skills when he's alone with her in a couple of scenes to hypnotize her to make her love him. I mean, we've seen that happen in many of these Hammer type films like this, and in many other films, even when they weren't Hammer. But instead, he goes and tries to offer treatment to Alan and tries to get him to look like he's crazy, to get him out of the picture, to get to her. And it just didn't make sense to me that he would go through all that to do that. So that was a bit of a convoluted story element that didn't really work for me that well. And I don't know if that's the same way, because I haven't read the actual novel. by Ronald Scott Thorne, but being he co-wrote the script with Val Guest, I'm guessing his novel must have went along these same notes. But yeah, it just doesn't work like the way that they have it panned out in this film. But it is a pretty good little psychological thriller. If you can get past that and you can not see through that big supposed twist that, but Claude Dauphin plays David so creepily throughout this film that it's obvious that there is something going on and he's up to something. Peer into the eyes of a very manipulative creature. And, you know, the way that they made Ronald Lewis as Alan go ahead and give in and go into therapy with him, it didn't make sense that he would do that. Let alone when he offers to hypnotize him, accepting that offer and you know, letting him do that to him. So yeah, it has its issues as far as believability of why someone would allow that to happen when they were very, very, and I mean, he was very untrustworthy of David when he first met him. It was almost like he already knew that he had a thing for Denise right from the start. And yet he just allows him to go ahead and do these things to him, to try and manipulate his mind and mess with him, to make him seem like he's crazy. That just, you know, it didn't work in the manner that they thought it would. Even though the film is well directed and other than Claude Dauphin's over-the-top performance in here, Diane Cilento and Ronald Lewis play their parts very well. It's just frustrating that he had plot points, Val did, in this film while directing it, that he could have, you know, like I said, he could have had David end up manipulating Denise and everything and made her feel like she was getting suspicious of Alan and making her think that Alan's crazy instead of the opposite, instead of trying to make Alan think he's going crazy and that he was a danger to his wife. You know, it's just, it's like I said, it was way too convoluted of a story, and it didn't have to be that way. But overall, it's not one of the worst of Hammer's psychological thriller phase films. And so I will give The Full Treatment from 1960. I'm going to give this film an 8.6 out of 10. It's a really, like I said, it's a well-acted film as far as our two husband and wife couple here with Denise and Alan. But yeah, like I said, the David character is just so overplayed to where it's just so obvious the twist that's coming, you know. But maybe when you watch it, maybe that won't be the case. I don't know. But let me know what you think of this film. Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you have, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan.
Well, that's it for another Hammer Productions Night. If you missed last week's Hammer Productions Night, check out the link up here to get caught up on that one. Or if you missed any of the other Hammer Productions Night, be sure and check out the playlist right here to get caught up on any of them that you have missed.